And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge.
If you're confused, I'm not Butch Patrick. You know, just
didn't confuse me at all.
Okay, cutting right through the confusion, trying to make our way. It is the All-Star panel, Bruce, Rick, and Jane. And so what we want to do this morning, before we get to our pet of the week and close the show, is give every one of you an opportunity to talk about the subject of the week, the news item of the week that you find most interesting or you wanted to make some comments on. You want to start? You want to start? You want to start?
Let Jane start because she can have the longest.
Well, if McCabe is not fired today, and if he's allowed to get his pension, I might just move to the moon or something. If he is allowed to get his pension...
I don't want to gloss over you have a rocket.
Yeah, right. I'll just be really disappointed in Trump, and if he doesn't just insist that McCabe goes.
Andrew McCabe, a acting co-director. Acting traitor, well put. Acting co-director of the FBI... retires soon after finding out that he colluded to help bring down the President of the United States, then a candidate for President of the United States. After all of that is revealed and basically proved, he takes his vacation days. He gets his vacation days, his time off, his sick days, and they call him and say, look, you know what? You're guilty of trying to bring down the whole United States of America and corruption. Why don't you just take time off till you can retire? Really? The rest of us, they say prison. It's called or retirement would be prison.
Or worse, you know, if you are convicted of treason, you are dead. I mean, it's the death penalty. You know that.
Back in the old days.
And what
probably
Jane,
not anymore.
What Jane is talking about
we'll see about
what Jane is talking about is the news this week is that McCabe would actually be fired and not allowed to continue on his leave of absence until his full retirement kicks in.
Which is Sunday.
Which I think you're 100% right. I think you're 100%.
1.8 million he's got hanging out
and in
retirement.
Right. And it does change things if his personnel file says fired.
There is some, I read the whole article, there is some protection for federal employees.
Some.
Even if he was fired. Yeah.
Some.
If he's fired, he doesn't get his pension. What does he get? Half his pension? Go tell us.
About
95% probably.
Yeah, no,
federal employees.
Part of it is protected.
They're gold.
All right, he gets protected. Andy McCabe gets protected pension, but he doesn't walk away with everything, and his personnel file doesn't say, because he's not an old guy. Don't take that wrong. I'm not an old guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not an old guy. No. I don't know what I was implying. Let's move right along.
Yes.
Maybe I was just
nothing to see here. Keep moving.
What I'm saying is he may want another job. And he certainly doesn't want it to show up. He wants it to show up that he left his last job and moved on, not terminated on the personnel file.
Well, they're talking last night.
Just everything, you know what I mean?
I mean, everyone might be in jail. I'm tired of waiting on people to get in jail. But he could have some serious charges against him.
But guys like him will
CNN, Ohio.
Exactly. They'll get a mainstream media job, you know, as a pundit or an opinionator, whatever.
He will be appointed to a board. I love this. They leave government and they're appointed to a board, and the board meets 4 times a year.
Planned
so
Parenthood.
They got to fly in. They fly in. They go to a board meeting, and they leave 4 times a year. Okay, so you want McCabe fired? That's today.
I do indeed.
I do indeed.
You think it's going to happen?
I think it's 50-50. Last night, the pundits said on Fox that they really looked positive, but you know that didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. What?
I don't know.
What say you? We can come back to that. I just want to make sure we get everybody in. What say you?
I tried to do some winners and losers. All I could find were losers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this guy up in Michigan, Brian Ellison, he's a libertarian candidate running for the Senate seat up there.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to give every homeless person a shotgun.
Oh my God!
A fact. He wants to issue a shotgun so they can protect themselves.
A short barrel pump, or
that's going to not help.
He said, "I'd rather give them a pistol, but there's laws against that." But I mean, there's one loser. God, poor Cooper. What's his name?
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. He and his significant partner broke up.
Oh, I'm crying.
Donald Jr., he and his partner are getting divorced. There's three losers.
Yeah.
Donald Jr. is getting divorced.
Yeah, Vanessa. Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa.
5 kids.
What envelope did she receive?
The white powder.
Yeah, the white powder.
Well, no, there was not anthrax in it.
No.
No, it was an unknown substance.
And the biggest loser of the week, Hillary, taking 2 headers down the steps and then falling in the tub at a 5-star hotel and breaking her wrist.
She fell in the tub.
Oh, yeah, she's got a broken
He
wrist
took
now.
my loser of the week. I got nothing left.
I got nothing.
We could always use
Well, no, I'm just thankful you had a scratch pad on the kitchen counter where you could
With
jot
my
a
daughter
couple
Lindsay's
notes.
name
Other
on
than,
it.
I mean,
I mean, this is the best you can do. You got a folder.
yeah, but I got nothing in there this week.
got nothing.
But think of it, if Hillary was president, I mean, like, she'd be at
Lord.
Walter Reed now. She'd be like,
Walter Reed. Yeah.
I mean, we are so much better off without having
I
her
saw her
tripping all
taking-
over the place.
the fall down the steps. Did she actually say she was doing a little dance? I mean, is that a true
She
story?
kicked her shoes off afterwards.
I saw
think
that.
she's blaming the shoes.
Of course she's blaming the shoes.
Yeah, she
what
blames-
about the shoes? Anyway.
But what about her comments? I mean, about
Yeah.
men putting pressure on their women.
Oh my gosh!
Do you have a response to that?
Oh, I was infuriated that women. First of all, white women. I mean, she was just so obvious with her hatred of.
Yeah, she could at least.
Women did not want to vote different from their husband
Like,
and their
right.
sons. Their husband and sons said, "You must vote this way, Mom. You must do this."
And they did it to please them.
The mindless white
Right.
women just voted so there'd be peace and harmony in the house.
She's the mindless
Who
white
has she
woman.
not blamed yet
I mean,
for her loss?
yeah, but who is she not?
Other than
what,
looking at herself and saying,
what
I'm the
has she
loser
not
here.
twisted around to her convenience? I mean, she's supposed to be a champion of women, so she's going to stand and say, well, Mom was in the kitchen, with pearls on and an apron and didn't know which way to turn. And then little Billy and what was the beef's dad's name?
Hugh Beaumont.
Yeah, you got home and said, you must vote this way. Well, okay.
Well, our three
I'm
wives,
sorry, I'm
our
sorry.
three wives, like we really just say, "How would you like me to vote?" Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
I
and
mean,
Barbara,
weeks before the election, I get it.
weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly.
But she's
Yeah, I know somebody I tell how to vote. Sure, I got
just
that.
and we're the old school. The new school would sock you in the, that's just a
Bazinkas.
ridiculous statement.
Yeah,
but I would just like to say she is
You know where that is.
ultimate white woman.
Ultimate white woman.
Sounds like a movie title.
I wanted it to be detrimental to her because she allowed her husband to do all the things he did. She annihilated some more white women who were brave enough to stand up and come out against him. That is one brave thing because their life was killed. And she talks to us about weak white women. Give me a break.
Quickly. Mueller, I think people need to get an understanding, and I'm sorry to put it that way, but be clear on there's only one objective here of the deep state is to bring down the President of the United States, period. There's no middle ground.
No.
Mueller going to go into the Trump organization and look around. What say you?
For what purpose? I mean, how someone ought to just say, really? I mean, how far can you go? it's like he's looking. Well, it's obvious he's looking for a crime.
Yeah.
He can't find one.
He's crime shopping.
Yeah, he's crime shopping. That's exactly what he's doing.
But my concern is, you know, there was a lady, and I have it, that wrote an article I read the other day of Obama. Really, you have no scandals? I mean,
oh my goodness,
we could have put a special counsel in place that should still be digging. They just glossed over everything with Hillary, glossed over everything with Susan Rice, they just glossed over every single thing.
There's 2 attorneys generals in there.
And all they had to do was say, all the Democrats or the Clintons or the deep state had to say was, uh-oh, and they moved on. Trump says, you know, he comes out of a meeting with Mueller saying, hey, how did that go? Oh, my God, the news flash, breaking news. Trump asked Previs how it went with Mueller. Is this obstruction? Then they do the panels.
Yeah.
And they put all the talking heads, and this one is, you know, it's
clearly obstruction.
It's clearly something he should not have done. He should not have engaged. What the hell are you people talking about?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like, you can't live your life.
Okay, let me just throw it out there. Not that she doesn't, well, I don't know. It's a family show. Stormy Daniels. What the heck? I mean, first of all, this is somebody that thought, why did I settle for 130 grand? I mean, I
could have gotten a bigger payday.
That was amazing.
Is that not what happened then?
Yes, I can get the big payday.
What? Oh, that's what she said. Well, I was stupid. Let's replay this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what happened, 10 years ago, supposedly when they were, closer.
Wait a minute. Let me just put this over here. We have a porn star that half of the night is counting her ones, okay? Just saying, okay?
I don't get that. Sorry.
All right, but half the night she's counting her ones, okay? And every once in a while she bumps into a 5.
Oh.
All right, let me finish this. I'm trying to do the side-by-side comparables. So they say that 10 years ago, Donald Trump stopped by and said, hi, Stormy, how are you? And whatever. And now 10 years later, supposedly his attorney, stay with this, paid her out of his account $130,000 to keep your damn mouth shut. That was the deal.
Cease and desist,
Right.
or whatever the
Shut the hell up.
NDA.
So wait,
sign a gag order.
Non-disclosure.
Here's the left side. Here's the left side. $130,000, folks, to keep a porn star quiet. Okay? Now, let's go to the other side. Now, the question is, did the attorney pay that? And did Donald Trump's campaign reimburse that attorney? And is there campaign fraud here? Is there laws broken and campaign finance laws have been broken? It's very serious. Now, that's the left side.
More serious than the Clinton Foundation.
Now, the right side over here, we have the DNC, we have fact. We have the Hillary Clinton campaign, we have fact. Funneled the money into an attorney's office. Well, it sounds like maybe the same thing over here, but not $130,000. Funneled the money into an attorney's office because they knew they couldn't directly pay out as a campaign, which directly paid out to Mr. Steele to write a dossier that went to the court, got a FISA warrant on false information to investigate a campaign in the area of millions of dollars. But nobody ever talks about that.
And by the way, Fusion GPS
I agree with you.
did work for Obama, opposition research on Mitt Romney. They'd use the same model, 5 years earlier.
But over here, a political party and a candidate can funnel millions through an attorney's office to pay out to a foreign spy to create a false document to go to our courts to get a FISA warrant to spy on a political candidate. Now, that's pretty much just the summary nutshell. Am I close?
Yeah.
But over here, we got a porn star that goes home at night and on the dresser is counting the ones.
I like your visual.
Stripper porn star, counting the ones. I think she got hired to sing "Hello" to "Happy Birthday" to the president.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Mr. President.
I just watched that the other day.
So anyhow, but I mean, like, but now it's a 60-minute special. Okay, quick. Tillerson out. Good, bad?
Good.
Good.
Pompeo in.
Good.
Even better.
Good.
I think that's
Okay.
good. What about McMaster's?
What about Gina
Is he
Haspel?
out? Is he going
No.
out?
Let's not jump your McMasters yet.
Gina Haspel. See,
Yeah. What about that?
Yep. What do you think?
I think she's going to have a tough confirmation hearing, but I
why?
think it's great.
Huh?
The
Torture
allegation
thing.
of being
Torture
associated with the
Tell
water
me you
board.
did not want to be. You would not want to have.
Khalid
been.
Sheikh Mohammed,
Tell me you would
183
not
times.
want to have been.
Bada bing,
Wish
bada
I had
bing.
been there.
Was it Thailand? The Thailand?
Thailand.
Wouldn't you want to be there and watch this woman slap those boys all around there? I mean, come on. I'm not putting you on the spot, but say yes. You wanted to be there.
Well,
you
maybe.
You wanted to see it? Yeah, he won't go for it. Will you?
It was not illegal at the time.
It
was not illegal. Waterboarding was not illegal. There's been more media waterboarded because they had to try it so they could talk about it.
I'm just saying, this woman is the co-director. She's the deputy director.
Second in charge.
Second in charge of the CIA. She has a 30-year career, right?
We talked about this on the phone,
Career,
and
right? 30-year career in the CIA. So she worked for Clinton. She worked for Bush. She worked for
Both Bushes.
Bush, right? First
She
Bush.
knows
She
some
worked.
stuff.
She worked for Obama the last. Why didn't you just fire her?
She knows
If they were-
everything.
Every single thing.
A federal employee. Go back
is
to the first thing you
Yeah,
opened
but
with. You
this
can't
is
touch
This
them.
is probably the best candidate we could put up.
Depending
Right.
on what
Agreed with
side
that.
she's on.
You agree with that?
I agree with that.
Best candidate we could put up.
Because she's a day-to-day operating person.
Yeah,
she
but
knows.
wait a minute. Remember during the presidential election and all the elections, they tell us that, Biden or this candidate is the best prepared candidate in history based on all this experience. You remember George H. Bush was the best prepared candidate because he was ambassador to China, right? How come it's not applying to this lady here?
How
This
do you
is
know
the
she's
best.
not in the deep state, though? How do you know?
I don't know. It's
So
a chance
that's
I'm willing
the
to
issue.
take.
She does know everything.
It's a
but-
chance I'm willing to take because President Donald Trump had the boom to say to Cohen this close, look, I know you're leaving. He's a globalist. He's one hell of a globalist,
Yeah.
but he's okay. He had the nerve to say that. He
Right
had
in the room
the nerve.
with his entire cabinet.
Right. He promised the American people. He said the Iranian deal was the stupidest deal he'd ever seen. Right.
Tillerson
Well,
was for
up,
that.
up there with NAFTA. But,
But he said that, right?
Yeah.
So Tillerson did not want out of Iran. Did not
he
want
didn't.
out of Iran, the Iranian deal, the nuclear deal.
did not.
And Trump made a promise
Paris
to the American
Accord,
people.
too. Paris
He's gone,
Accord, too.
right? I mean, what say you? He's establishment.
I don't know if it was so much.
Tillerson was never the right guy anyway. I mean, Gates and what's her face?
Condoleezza Rice
Condoleezza Rice
introduced
come in
him
and say
3
this is the
weeks
guy.
before. Right.
That's it.
But Trump is good enough to say, look, I gave you guys a chance. I promised the American people X. Okay? The deep state came in and said, oh, this is your man, this is your woman, this is that. And I gave them a chance, and they're gone. McMaster's, I think McMaster's needs to go. He came in.
He is CFR. He is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations.
McMaster's
That's
needs to
enough
go,
tell you.
and I'm not going to be upset with that.
Oh,
but what about, now the media hypes everything. What about if Kelly goes?
I don't like that idea.
You don't like
we talked
that?
about
Yeah, Mick Mulvaney. I mean, I like Mick Mulvaney,
You don't like
but
what idea? If Kelly goes?
yeah.
I don't. I'm on the.
I think
fence.
I like
think-
Kelly. I
What
think
do
he's
you
doing a
think?
good job.
I think Kelly's
so
doing
he's
a
not
good
in the
job.
deep
Kelly needs
state.
to
You don't-
stay.
He's a steady hand on the tiller. I think.
Exactly, yeah.
Kelly,
I
to me,
hope
Kelly
he's
needs to
straight.
stay.
But Tillerson, I don't know if it was so much Iran. I think it was his views on North Korea, more than Iran, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. I think they were way apart on North Korea, how to handle it.
I think the media really needs to get focused on the fact that this is not an exception with Trump administration. This is going to be the norm.
They're not. They're going to make every personnel change is going to be a huge event.
Chaos. This isn't chaos. This is standard operating procedure for Trump. this guy's not working out. I need a better guy. He's constantly trying to make the paradigm better.
Or woman.
No, but they're conditioned to accept the federal employee.
They're used to the good old boy syndrome. They're just not used to this.
They're not used to somebody gets fired. They're used to somebody gets demoted.
Business environment.
But they're preoccupied with anything Trump does is going to be like, it's not the normal president. It's classless.
A little different. I think that the globalist mentality, the deep state, is much more pervasive than anyone knows, and that Trump is coming to see that in many ways with the people that he has on board. And it's not that they just don't get along. I mean, he's fighting the deep state. He is fighting the coup. And Priebus, he was the dadgum leaker. I mean, I hated him from the first. I disliked him from the first. Trump is just weeding out the people who are deep down globalist, and he has got to get them out of there, or he will never succeed.
He continues to drain the swamp,
and he does.
He does, and
he has to take a lot of
one deadbeat federal employee at a time.
That's right.
But they're determined to get rid of him.
Yes. There's a war going on.
The star of our show, the pet of the week. We always love to round out the week. And wrap up with our pet of the week. We noticed our star just showed up. So, last word, last comment, last thought, right to left.
Well, again, I'm just thankful that Hillary, is not president, because it would just be a cluster fudge. So,
close, but not
no cigar.
The golden ring.
And you?
I left a loser out. I forgot about Rand Paul.
Oh, what is he thinking?
Oh, geez, he did now he's coming right out of the box. Press conference. I am not going to support Pompeo, and I'm not going to support
Gina Haspel.
Yeah,
mimicking John McCain.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So there's 2 votes already against.
And you?
I've about said all I know about that.
It was fun with Butch today, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
I've about said all I can say.
That is a first. Just write that down.
Hey,
Munster shirts next week?
Yeah, Munster shirts for all. Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip. You know what? We live in a TV reality show, and we have a week where kids walked out of schools, and they have actually no idea why they walked out of those schools this week. We then have adults that are coddling those children, coming up with good, compassionate reasons why they walked out and why we support them. I tell you what, I guess I got my work cut out for me next week starting Monday morning, because I have to get right back on it. Republicans, let me remind you, Connor Lamb, they will argue with you, they will argue with you, they will argue with you. If Pennsylvania moves the 10 seats that the Supreme Court did slice out for Pennsylvania, that means there's another 118 districts that resemble the Pennsylvania 18th that this past Tuesday. All they have to find is 14 Connor Lambs that have no record that they've run on, have a wife and little children to take a picture, say they're pro-life, say they're pro-Second Amendment, do not knock the Trump tax cuts, and say they agree with the tariffs, depending if they're in a union-friendly area, and say, hey, if I'm elected, I'll vote against Nancy Pelosi. But watch the DCCC, which Nancy Pelosi's in charge of, shove that money in there. So don't get confused that if you get a candidate that says, I will vote for Nancy Pelosi, she's upset, because she's not. Because she knows 14 seats and 14 Connor Lamb type candidates, along with Pennsylvania, and she has the gavel. There's a nice thought to leave you with. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm just going to tell them the truth. It's time for our pet of the week, so we can round out our week and enjoy beautiful Blue Ridge, sunny day, and all of North Georgia. Take us a break.